ಹೌದಾ? ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಏನಂತ ಬರ್ತೀರಿ? ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ addition reaction they have to substitute some of the halogens or some of the compound, that is called as aromaticity and the birth, that is called as aromaticity. Then we will move on to the next concept, that is called as rules for assigning the aromaticity, whether these are suitable to apply the aromaticity, whether these are applicable for aromaticity compound, whether these are really aromatic hydrocarbons or not. By using the aromaticity principle, we have to answer whether these given compounds are aromatic in nature or not. Then we'll move on to the aromaticity and their rules. Now I will move on to the aromaticity rules. What are the rules assigning for aromaticity? There are 4 rules which is helpful for maintaining the aromaticity for all the types of compound, for all the types of compound, for all the types of what? For all the types of compounds. Now I will write the 4 rules for aromaticity in which the compound undergoes. Any one of them. Right. What is rule 1? Now I will write aromaticity here. Right. I will write all the rules for aromaticity. Right. This is, I will write it as R1, R2, R3 and R4. The purpose I am writing R1, R2 and R3, R4 just to remember the things and just to remember the rules for aromaticity. Right. The R1, which means the compound, if and only if the compound satisfies the rules 1 of aromaticity, then it is said to be a what? Aromatic hydrocarbons. The first rules for aromaticity, to say a compound is aromatic in nature, that is called as the compound should be cyclic in nature. The compound should be cyclic in nature. If the compound is in cyclic, then it is termed as aromaticity. Not only by seeing the rules 1, that is cyclic in nature, we can't say that the compound is aromatic in nature. We have to switch through the second rule, that is called as what? The compound should attain sp2 hybridization with planar structure. Right. The compound, any kind of compound if you take, and then it is checking for aromatic hydrocarbons, whether it is aromatic hydrocarbons or not, then we have to use sp2 planar. If it is possesses, if it have sp2 hybridization and planar structure, then it might be taking the part of aromaticity. Then there is a third rule, that is called as what? Dislocalization of pi electrons. Delocalization of pi electrons. If pi electrons is delocalized in the shell of that particular compound, then it's said to be a aromaticity. Then fourth rule, which is very very important rule, and it is also important for all the examination purpose, that is called as the function, the compound, if it is satisfies aromaticity. If these satisfies these three rules, then there is a one more important rule for this aromaticity, that is called as Huckel's rule. If it satisfies the rule of Huckel's rules, then if it satisfies the condition 1, that is rule number 1, rule number 2, rule number 3 and rule number 4, then it's said to be aromatic in nature. Aromatic in nature. If it satisfies cyclics, sp2 hybridization, pi delocalization of electrons, then Huckel's rules, then it is aromatic in nature. Then it applies the principle of aromaticity. Then we'll move on to the what? Then we'll move on to what? Huckel's rule. What does Huckel's rule states? What is Huckel's rule? ಹೌದಾ? ಇವು 4 ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ, then we'll move on to the what actually the Huckel's rule is. What is Huckel's rule? Huckel's rule state that the similar principle included under the case of aromaticity will be applied there and copied here. Will be copied there and applied here. Right? Will be copied there and applied here. That is called as Huckel's rule. That is called as Huckel's rule. That is called as Huckel's rule. Huckel's rule states that if and only if the compound containing single bond or double bond sp2 hybridization, whereas delocalization of electrons will be multiple of 4n plus pi 4n plus 2 of pi electrons will be multiple of 4n plus 2 into pi of electrons, pi times of electrons. Then it's called as a Huckel's rule. We can denote it as a Huckel's rule. Wherein n is equal to all the types of rings which is present in the compound, whereas it is also called as n is also called as a integer. And it is also termed as a integer. In place of n, we have to substitute the number of rings, or in place of n, we have to substitute the integer that is present in the case of Huckel's rule. That is present in the case of Huckel's rule. Huckel's rule ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is nothing but which resembles the, which checks the positivity of aromaticity of a given compound. Given compound ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ given compound ಒಳಗ Huckel's rule verification ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ by using the same equation, that is 4n plus 2 into of pi electrons will gives the number of rings, either it is present or not. By using this equation, we have to prove whether the given compound which satisfies the condition of aromaticity or Huckel's rule. If Huckel's rule as well as aromaticity proven by using the Huckel's rule, then it is called as aromatic in nature. Then it is aromatic in nature. If it is dissatisfies Huckel's rule, as well as if it is dissatisfies, if the given compound is dissatisfies Huckel's rules, as well as what? Huckel's rule as well as aromaticity. ಹೌದಾ, aromaticity ಮತ್ತು Huckel's rule dissatisfy ಮಾಡ್ತಂದ್ರೆ then it will not be in what? Aromatic in nature. Aromatic in nature ಒಳಗೆ ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. If these two will dissatisfies for the given compound, then it is called as, or then it is called as Huckel's rule ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Then it is called as Huckel's rule. By studying these things, by knowing what actually the aromatic hydrocarbons are, by knowing what is aromaticity, by knowing the rules for assigning the aromaticity, by knowing what? By knowing the Huckel's rule, we'll move on to the what? To prove there are 4 compounds in the syllabus they have mentioned. One of them is benzene, and another one is called as furan, and another one is called as pyridine, and the very last one is called as 10-annuline. These are the 4 compounds that they have given for us to study whether these are really aromatic in nature or not. If these are really aromatic in nature, then what is the function? What is the characters involved in it? If these are not, then what are the criteria they should attain? Right? We have, in the next class, we have to study whether those compounds, whether those given compounds will satisfy the Huckel's rules or aromaticity. Among those, very first one is called as benzene. Benzene is given as a compound to check the aromaticity of a benzene, and then they have given furan as an example, or furan as an example to check the aromatic, whether it is aromatic in nature or not. Then they have also given the pyridine as an example to check whether this pyridine is what? Aromatic in nature or not. Then the fourth and the last one is called as 10-annuline. 10-annuline to demonstrate whether these are really aromatic hydrocarbon in nature or not. By using the Huckel's rule as well as aromaticity principle, we have to check whether these are completely including aromatic hydrocarbons or not. Right? Now we'll move on to the one by one.